SWIFT started cutting Iran off from the World Financial Institution this weekend, actually enacting that ban on financial transactions carried out by Iranian businesses. This was in response to that EU decision last week. Will increased pressure and stricter sanctions actually prevent further conflict? Joining me now is Jonathan Chanzler. He's Vice President Research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, also a former analyst in the Office of Terrorism and Financial Intelligence at the United States Treasury. Jonathan, welcome back to In Business. You and I spoke about the possibility of this cutoff happening. It was carried out this weekend. What do we know about the impact thus far on Iran?
What we're hearing right now is that the Iranians are obviously very nervous. They've threatened over the weekend to close off the Straits of Hormuz in response to this. They're obviously very unhappy. They're looking for ways to find some cutouts. In other words, finding other countries or companies to help them continue to work in the electronic financial system, this global system that everyone has to rely on in this kind of economy. And so they're nervous, and we're waiting to see what the impact is.
Now, this will cut off any financial transaction coming in or out of Iran, cutting off even its central bank. The critics look at this and they say, wait a second, you're also squeezing those smaller businesses, those mid-market firms, the people who aren't necessarily political. You're really going to cripple the financial, basically, infrastructure of what remains in Iran.
You're right. A lot of the economy is going to have to start working on a bartering system. It's going to make it a lot harder. We've heard some rumors of some tankers with Iranian oil that are out at sea and they haven't been able to find places to settle trades. And so, obviously, this is going to hit the Iranians harder than anything that I think that has hit them before. But this is, I think, we don't have much of a choice left. And this is, I think, the message that needs to be conveyed here, is that if the Iranians keep marching toward that nuclear program, there's very little that we can do. We've got to make sure that sanctions take a bite right now, or the alternative is that the Iranians cross that threshold, and then what we're talking about is not sanctions anymore, but whether we have a military intervention in our hands.
Jonathan, we're going to continue to track what happens and how some of those transactions might be able to be settled. A follow-up on some of those threads later on. Thank you very much for explaining it.